Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Fire Emblem Engage tier list. Today we'll be talking about the best emblems in order to beat the story on maddening difficulty. Keep in mind that this is based off my single maddening playthrough, as I have not had the chance to beat the game twice yet. However, unlike units, I was able to experience every emblem in the game. Without further ado, let us begin. First up is Tiki. She is an incredibly strong emblem, and if you already have the DLC, you already know this. She offers plus 10 HP and plus 10 luck. When engaged, she offers 3 very powerful attacks as well. Her engage attack is replaced by Divine Blessing, which allows you to give any adjacent unit 1 extra health bar, similar to how some later bosses have. If you wait without attacking, you can heal up to 40 HP and status effects. This is why she is best paired on tanks, which are able to retreat and fully heal without you having to waste a staff on a healer to heal them up. Some of the best pairings for Emblem Tiki are your beefier units such as Goldberry, Louise, Jade, etc. Next up is Marth, and I'm going to be putting him in A tier because he is absent throughout the mid game and he does not show much presence in the late game. The faster the unit, the better. He is best on units with high speed such as swordsmen. He has an amazing utility that can affect cavalry and armored units. He is also strongest on units with high strength that can pair with his engage attack. His engage attack allows you to do many consecutive hits with your weapon at 30%, which is why the strength stat is so important to kill bosses. Speaking of which, he is the best boss killer in the early game on maddening difficulty, which is why he is ranked so high despite not being present for most of the game. Some of the best units to pair him with are most definitely Alear in the beginning. However, for the late game, he is best on units like Kagetsu, Diamant, and like I said, practically any fast swordsman. Next up is Sigurd. I believe he lands in B tier due to not having many offensive options. He is best due to his movement, which allows you plus 5 when engaged and plus 1 when not engaged. He offers the amazing ability Canter as well, which allows you to be able to move 2 spaces after attacking. This is a skill that can go on any unit, not only mounted units. His engage attack is somewhat lackluster unless you're pairing his Rider's Bane on top of a group of cavalry, which is beneficial at some times, but very few. One of his skills allows him immunity to freeze, which is a nice little niche. One of the strongest things in Sigurd is his skill Momentum, which allows you to deal plus 1 damage for every space you move. This is why he is best in mounted units in the backline. He is strongest on mounted units such as Alfred, Vander, Rosado, etc. Next up is Celica. I'm going to be putting her in C tier. This is actually the lowest out of every other emblem, and this is because she is absent mid-game, and even in the late game, I personally believe that her warp isn't as strong as you don't want to be sending a unit in very far alone. Regardless, it is a strong attack that can be a boss killer if needed. Outside of her warp, she has the Tome Seraphim, which is effective against Corrupted and very useful in later stages of the game. She offers Recover, which heals your units for a lot of HP, which isn't that valuable since you will already be having Recovers and Mends at the end of the game. Unfortunately, Echo allows you to attack twice at 50%, but it is almost always more damage to just do a basic attack with Seraphim. She is best paired on units such as Celica, Clan, Citrine, etc. Next is Leaf. I'm going to be placing him in B tier due to his tankiness, but not much outside of that. Since he allows for a higher build and defense, he's paired on tankier units that basically need the extra help and able to double or not get doubled. His engage attack allows you to attack once with a sword, lance, axe, and bow. This isn't the strongest engage attack in the game because oftentimes some of these attacks will be doing very little damage. Even though it's not the strongest engage attack in the game, it almost always breaks the enemy, granted they are not an armored unit and that they are breakable. His best skill is Vantage, which allows you to attack first if you're 75% HP or lower. This is an incredibly strong skill to put on practically any unit. Additionally, he offers almost every proficiency in the game, but that doesn't really help you much in battle, which also contributes to this placement. As for his weapons, they aren't anything crazy. They are a basic killer axe and a master lance that can attack twice if unit initiated attack. The best units in my opinion are Panette, Rosado, or even some tankier units such as Goldberry so that they can double. Next up is Roy. I'm going to be placing him in A tier because he has an amazing skill called Holdout, which ensures you live on 1 HP if you have more than 2 HP. This can be difficult to plan for, but can save you a rewind or even a reset in some situations. This also allows some stronger but more frail units to get a big hit off on a boss, but still be able to live. Unfortunately, his engage attack is quite weak and it is mainly a weaker hit, but sets the ground on fire to do AoE damage. One of his skills allows you 6 strength, which means that he is best paired off on units that do not use magic. He has a good weapon with Wormslayer, but is basic and you should upgrade your own Wormslayer if possible. He also has Landsaver, which reverts the weapon triangle. A notable skill is that one of his skill boosts attack by 8 at the cost of -10 avoid. Paired with the +6 strength and +8 strength, you are able to get a +14 strength on an incredibly strong unit, which could be a huge boss killer. I believe he is best paired on offensive units in order to get the most damage output. However, you can put his holdout skill on your healers to ensure that they are not killed in the backline. The best units are Fram or Seedle on supports, and for tankier units, you can put him on Goldmary, Cephia, or practically anybody who needs a strength boost in order to kill units. Next is Lyn. She is an amazing unit and saw a lot of value in my army, which is why I'm going to be placing her in A tier. She grants amazing speed up to +5. She is best on units that are not already fast so that they can capitalize off this speed boost. This means that you can put high strength on units that are not fast enough to double with Lyn, so that they're able to double and kill almost any unit in the game. Her engage attack allows you to attack 10 squares away, 20 if you're covert. I'm gonna do that. Her engage attack allows you to attack 10 squares away, 20 if you're covert. This allows you to launch 5 vortex. Wait. No, that's a fuck up with the dictation. This allows you to launch 5 attacks at 30% damage. The amazing skills Speed Taker allows you to gain +2 speed for every final blow up to +10. As for weapons, they are quite basic, along with many other emblems such as Killer Bow and another bow that grants +5 speed, along with a Manikadi to hit cavalry and armored units. Like I said, the best units are units that have mediocre speed, so it may depend on your game. I personally put Lyn on my Etier, which is a sniper, but I believe Lyn is strongest on some melee units in order to hit harder. She could be used on Diamant, Goldmary, or Ivy. I've personally seen a lot of people have success putting Lyn on Ivy. As for Erica and Ephraim, I'm going to be putting them in B tier because they don't offer much other than a mediocre engage attack. It's practically just a basic attack, but lends a heavy blow against Corrupted. Gentility and Bravery are good skills which allow you to deal +5 damage or take 5 less damage. Unfortunately, the drawback is that you are only able to use one at a certain time. You are able to switch between the two in the middle of battle. This emblem does offer an amazing skill, which is up to +30 dodge. This does fall into the RNG category and probably will not end up in your favor unless you already put it on a unit that already has a high avoid. She does have a very strong weapon with Rapier as it affects both cavalry and armored units. This emblem can be versatile with many units, but is probably best paired on more frail/agile units such as a thief like Yunaka or Zelkov. Next, we have one of my favorite emblems in the game, which is Ike, and he's easily S tier. He is a superb emblem that can grant up to +5 defense. His weapons include Hammer, Irvin, and Ragnall. He grants a higher attack when using an axe at the cost of -10 avoid, which in my opinion is a plus. This is why he is often best paired on Berserkers which already have high HP and use axes, but gives them that defense that they crucially need. The skill Reposition allows you to move an adjacent ally to the opposite side of the unit. Experienced Fire Emblems know how strong this ability is. A niche ability is that he is able to destroy trains in one hit as well. His engage attack is Great Aether, which boosts your defenses, but you can't attack for one turn. However, next turn you are able to attack any 2-space area and heal 30% of damage on each hit. Outside of putting this emblem on Berserkers, you can put him on tankier units to capitalize off the engage attack. Personally, I put my Ike on Kagetsu, and he was able to do a lot of damage in the mid game, and he was actually my main tank for the majority of the time I had him. Next up is Micaiah, and I'm going to be placing her in B tier. She grants a small bit of resistance and allows staffs to heal slightly more. Her niche ability gives her immunity to silence, which means that she is almost always going to be used on healers/staff users. One of her weapons is Shine, which can illuminate an area it attacks, which once again is a very niche use. The other weapon is Nosferatu, which heals 50% of damage dealt. Additionally, when unit heals with staffs, you also recover 50% of amount healed. But the reason I am placing her in B tier despite not being very powerful is the fact that her engage attack allows you to heal your entire army at the cost of sacrificing your unit's HP to 1. Usually this is not a big deal and can be easily healed up next turn by healing up other units or using an elixir, especially since you will not be using this in signs of danger. Micaiah is best on units such as Fram, Pandreo, Ivy, Hortensia, etc. Next is Lucina, which in my opinion is an S tier emblem. Her engage attack allows you to chain attack with all allies up to 2 spaces away, which means she typically wants to move last when attacking a boss. She also grants up to +5 dexterity and gives Bonded Shield, which is used to prevent first attacks on adjacent allies until next turn. Typically, the trigger percent is 80, but is 90% if you're a dragon, which is why I always suggest putting Lucina on Alear. Her niche allows you to increase Avoid up to +90 depending on your support level if you're adjacent to an ally. Weapons are incredibly strong with the Noble Rapier, which affects cavalry and armored, Parthia, which is a really strong bow, and Parallel Falchion, which is effective against dragons. She allows you to chain attack if you can reach the enemy by moving with this unit. The chance of this is 70%. The best unit, like I previously stated, is Alear, but you can pair with units like Rosado or Alfred in order to capitalize the chain attacks more often. Next up is Corrin, where I'll be placing in B tier. While she isn't the strongest ring to equip in your army, she offers some strong inheritable skills. One that I put on almost all of my units was the +15 HP skill. If you choose to equip her, she has the ability Draconic Hex that allows you to inflict -4 to all of the enemy's basic stats if you initiate combat. As for her engage attack, you attack 3 spaces in a line and immobilize those units and surrounding units while also lowering all stats. Additionally, you're able to wait next to a unit and heal them 10 HP. This can easily heal up your support so you can chain guard. You also have Dragon Vein, which changes depending on the unit, such as Healing Towels or Icebox. The weapons aren't anything crazy, a throwing sword which allows you to attack 2 spaces but not 1 space, Yato which is just a strong sword, and a dual katana which reverts the weapon triangle. I personally use Corrin on units like Ivy, Hortensia, and archers in order to lower enemy stats from range. Next is Byleth, which I will also be placing in B tier. He has a strong ability which allows you to turn a missed attack into a hit. This increases with your luck stat. One of the amazing things about Byleth is that he has the skill which grants 1.2 times multiplier to your unit's experience. I put this on all my units on Maddening in order to give them that extra experience boost. Engage attack allows you to grant another action to every adjacent unit. I find this is best when you use Cetl to dance for a unit, then use Byleth's engage attack to dance Cetl and other units in your army. You can have one unit attack up to 3 times, which is some insane damage. He also has Instruct, which like Corrin, changes depending on the class of the unit you have the ring equipped, increasing stats like Strength, Magic, Resistance, etc. This emblem also grants +30 hit at the cost of -10 dodge on an arts user. This means that Byleth is purely a support emblem that is best paired on units like Fram or Pandreo. Next is Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude. I'll be placing them in A tier strictly because their engage attack offers a ton of damage by attacking with each of their signature weapons. On top of that, you're able to use their weapons when engaged as well. One of the skills increases unit experience by 20%, which I believe stacks with Byleth's 1.2 times multiplier to experience as well. This emblem also offers almost every weapon proficiency, which doesn't help them much in battle. If unit initiates combat using the same weapon as the synced emblem, you're granted +7 attack. If engaged, it grants +7 attack regardless of the weapon type. This emblem is another very strong boss killer. It is a pretty flexible emblem as to who you can put it on. As whoever has it will be doing large damage. If you were able to get more out of this emblem than just damage, this ring may have been S tier for me. I personally put this on my Diamant, but you can easily put this on units such as Fogado, Vander, Goldmary, or practically anybody who does a lot of damage. The last emblem is Alear. I'll be placing this in A tier as it is an extremely powerful emblem, but only shows up in the final few chapters. This emblem offers up to +15 HP, +4 defense, and +4 speed. When engaged, you receive +4 to all of your basic stats as well. One of the abilities within this ring is that all allies within 2 spaces are effective against Fell Dragons. Similar to Lucina, you may want this unit to move last because if unit initiates combat, it grants a bonus to crit and dodge equal to 2 times the number of allies who have acted this turn. Alear has very strong weapons that are effective against Fell Dragon and Corrupted. This emblem is practically created to beat the game with, and I don't think there's any better unit to pair with other than Alear, especially since you receive dragon bonuses. I hope you all enjoyed this Fire Emblem tier list. If you disagree, please comment below as I love discussing Fire Emblem with my community. Make sure to like and subscribe for future Fire Emblem content.